The cars would have never existed. Half the people in the 80s would have never come out. They were just getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. So, Sarah, Tiana's in the house. Sorry to get emotional off the bat about music. What's up, dog?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, I'm fucking trying to put the pieces together. You are the official last guest in this office.
I am? Oh,
Next time we'll see you in the new office that looks...
I can't wait.
Fucking
fancy digs.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah?
I showed Lee, sent me a picture before. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. New offices. And it's closer to where you live, too, right?
I can walk over there.
I love that.
It's fucking tremendous. So I'm very happy. We got spotlights,
Whoa,
a brick wall.
Wow.
It's like 150 fucking 5th Street. And it just gives it that rustic feeling. We'll have to kill somebody in there just to give it that fucking...
I've had a good week over there. It's been a lot of fun.
I can tell.
I did Habitat for Humanity in high school, and I actually got to build houses. Now I'm just kind of like there to be there for the podcast because the guys who are helping us, Kevin and his father-in-law, are just so amazing. It's great. It's so nice seeing I have no knowledge of that at all. It's
you neither.
They're like masters, and I'm just sitting there and they were cutting the walls to put up. And it was I know in theory it's simple. You just measure here and do that. To me, it could be them building a spaceship. I have no idea how to do anything.
To me, it's the hottest thing that a guy can ever do is build something. I feel like, and I feel like guys now, they only have calluses on one hand, not two, from not knowing how to build nothing. But my dad was like that. My dad could just look at something and then build whatever it was. He built me a desk in high school for my artwork because I did one painting or something, so he would just build anything. To this day, he's like, oh, I want to build a deck here. So then he'll just build a deck.
Fuck.
It's amazing.
I know what I'm doing, but I'm one of those guys that's scared. I did so much construction work as a child, as a young man, that I know what I'm doing pretty much. I know if I built it, I'd fuck up in some places. Yeah. But at least I'd be in the neighborhood.
But I feel like you're a guy that could fix it if it was broken.
Broken?
Yeah. I don't mean build things from scratch, but I feel like guys, even just, you seem like you could fix something. If plaster up a wall if you punched a hole in it.
In my house, my wife does all that shit. My wife builds shit and fucking TV stands, and she put the curtains up in here. Yeah. So because she does that, I've sat back.
Yeah.
But I'm the type of guy I get pissed off. Somebody. It's really weird how we became stand-up comics. Mm-hmm. If you really think about how the fuck you became stand-up comics, it's by either saying, I could do that, or I could be better than him.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
that's the beginning to any career. You watch a lawyer work at a courtroom, and you're like, you know what? I could fucking do this. I could defend people. It's law school. That's a motherfucker. But you still do it. I'm one of those guys. I could do anything. Just give me a week.
Yeah.
To get confidence, and I could do it. I'll tackle it. There's some shit. I have no aptitude for fixing a car.
Yeah.
But if I had to, I could change the oil.
Yeah.
I could change a flat. You know what I'm saying? I know how to put that shit Bondo on a car and buff it out and fix the dent. So it's like a Puerto Rican fucking whatever. It doesn't look great, but I'm one of those guys. I can at least get it to work. When you're a road comic, when you do the triple runs, you're really lucky. I started in Denver. So people had put it into me, you got to do those triple runs.
Yeah.
There was a point that I saw Stanhope on the road. And I looked in his car. We were talking about something. He goes, come on, we'll go eat together. And I got in Stanhope's car. And there was no room for nothing. Stanhope had a pole in his back where he hung his clothes.
Wow.
And he was living on the road.
Yeah.
And I said, in my mind, that was the only way to get good. So I copied Stanhope. And I had everything in that car. I was telling somebody the other night that the axle broke in that car. Has anybody's axle ever fucking broke? You have no idea.
Yeah.
The axle broke when the tire kept popping. Bah! Oh. So I pulled over, and then I changed the flat, and then a couple more miles. Bah! The tire would fly. And then I had this fucking fix-it thing, so I put it in the one. It was a horror show. I didn't know. I couldn't fix that. But the radiator kept blowing up. I had that stuff you buy for $3 that you put in your radiator, and it seals the fucking thing. I mean, you learn how to adapt.
Yeah.
Duct tape is your friend. You learn, you go to place, and they're like, listen, if you buy the whole case, it's $82, but if you buy this, it's 69 cents, and the cops won't pull you over. All right, let's do that because
yeah.
I'm only making $80 a show. You're only making $85 a fucking show, and they give you $50. The 35, they mail it to you 2 weeks later.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to make it to the next town on $50 fucking gas, and then
hotel
includes gas.
too, right?
No, they pay for the hotel.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
So what would you do? Would you get home after a few months and just have $40, $30 checks?
I'd have 1,000 fucking no, because you did 4 nights, 5 nights a week, so you get 150 in the mail. You picked up 250 there and 150 in the mail, so you basically got 400 a week for 5 shows. And then when you start headlining, you make a little bit more money. I co-headline for Tribble. And then I think one time he called me and I went back and just did a regular Tribble run for. I loved him, but I had everything I owned in that car and everything that could go wrong in my life I could fix with what I had in that car. I had a football, I had a frisbee, I had a baseball, I had a bat, I had everything you needed. A sleeping bag, a blanket, water in the back. I had cans of soda just in case shit got fucking bad in the middle of the night. And I had to pull over. I had a beer in case I got coked up, and I just had to pull over and have a beer and whack off. I had everything in that fucking car that you could possibly have.
That's pretty specific.
Wow.
Pull over, have a beer, and whack
Well,
off.
being honest here, what the fuck?
Is it crazy sleeping in your car the first time? Like when I talk to Tommy or just think about like sleeping in your car, like in a rest stop. I mean, at least in a truck, you have like a bed and something like that. Like that must be fucked up.
You ever sleep in your car?
I slept in it a couple times, but not out of like desperation. Out of like I'm too drunk to drive.
Okay. That's a different. No, I lived in my car when I lived in '98. I lived in my car in front of Josh Wolf's house.
Oh yeah.
And I would run up and take showers. But I slept in that car. Thank God I had air conditioning. I popped the sunroof. I put the seat all the way back. I put a little blankie poo on me. I had a sight of the stars.
Wait, didn't you have to leave the car running then?
For a little while. So I would fill it up at night and fucking just go there. And all night, dum, 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 the car would be, God forbid. And then the road car I had in Seattle, finally the exhaust broke. That's how that car came to an end. That car, I had that car from 98. No, I had that car from 94. And I mean, guys, banging it guerrilla style, going from Denver to Baltimore and back every 2 weeks, just changing oil. It was a Datsun something. It was a B210 or something, 4-door. Those cars don't blow up.
How much do you miss that car?
With all my fucking heart.
Yeah.
With all my heart. I seen, when you go to Denver, Douglas Toyota, they have a Toyota in the showroom that hit 500,000 fucking miles. Those Japanese engines, like those engines, all you gotta do is change oil. Those 4-cylinder engines, all you gotta do is change oil, bro. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of power, but for a road car, you get great mileage and the engine will go. 200,000 is when it gets warmed up.
Wow.
That's when those Toyota engines get warmed up.
Love it.
Nissan, the old Datsun B210, 2,000. You're just waking it up.
Amazing.
crazy.
Yeah.
So what was it like though? Because when I just gave up my car, I didn't have as many memories as you did, and I got kind of emotional thinking about the last 3 years
I
of
just
my
bought a
life.
new car in July,
And it's
I
kind of
cried.
weird, right?
Yeah,
Really?
I cried when I
Really?
let my old car. I had it for 10 years. I'd paid it off. It was like my first big splurge on myself. First new car I'd
So you
ever
bought it
owned.
brand new?
I bought it brand
Good for
new
you.
10 years ago. Yeah, it was like the first brand new car I ever bought, and then yeah. So I was like, it was hard. It was a Kia. Those Korean engines, it came with 100,000-mile warranty. I mean, I put like so many miles on that car. Never broke down, not once.
I mean, you really want to buy an American car to go on the road in the beginning, but you're broke,
Yeah.
okay? And if you break down somewhere, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're fucked, bro, especially when you're making $400 a week. So that car has to be like, I treated it like gold. I put medium gas in it. The body looked like death. I mean, at the end, after I welded the fucking, the thing that popped, at the end, the CV joint went. And even then, I hit a car and the thing fell out. I was driving that car with the fucking guts hanging out, and the cops wouldn't pull me over. It wasn't until I got arrested and I didn't make bail that they towed the fucking car.
Oh, man.
And then I came down here and got another Datsun like that. And that one I got towed because I didn't have the registration for it. So I kept getting tickets. The registration expired 8 months after I bought it. The girl wouldn't fucking call me back. I couldn't get the registration. I applied for the the registration. They're like, we can't help you unless she calls in and signs over the other registration. You have no fucking idea.
Oh my
and
God,
that
what a
one,
nightmare.
I was in my girlfriend's house taking a shower in Van Nuys. I'm like, because Hollywood police would look for that car every day to give me a ticket.
No.
They would go out of their way, like they didn't give a fuck. Another day without that ticket,
Yeah.
that car had like $10,000 on it. I don't even know what happened to it. I never paid a fucking dime. That shit disappeared, Jack, into the hemisphere.
That's gangster right
I
there.
guarantee
I don't
that
know how
girl
that
got a
happened.
fucking letter in the mail
Something. Oh yeah.
because she didn't change over the registration. You see.
Hilarious.
So one day she went to buy an air conditioner on credit, and they're like, "Bitch, you owe $10,000 in tickets in Los Angeles. How the fuck you gonna live in that?
Oh, that's
Don't
so
call Papa
smart.
now. When I was calling you, you weren't calling me back and shit. Now you get what you deserve, cocksucker."
Oh my
does
God.
get what she deserves. That's so beautiful.
It's
love it.
It's amazing when shit was still computer changing. Like you guys are too young. I got away with murder. Tickets. I got a ticket once in Idaho for doing like 200 on the way home from not Boise, but from where? What was the quarterback before Tom Brady?
Bledsoe.
Where he went to college. He
Okay.
went to go see where he went to college. Moscow, Idaho.
Moscow.
And they have a Wednesday and a Friday. Lee Syatt, if you went there one time, you begged to come back with me and eat edibles.
Why?
Because when you're on stage as a feature act, to fuck the feature up, it's cute. They send you tequila with Tabasco in it,
No.
brain farts or something, prairie dogs or something like that. One night I was in my room. The room was spinning, and all I remember is holding on to the sink and just fucking barfing my brains out. As a feature act, it was a nightmare.
Tequila will do that to you.
Tequila with shots of Tabasco. It's
Oh
called
my
a
God.
prairie dog or something like that. And they would keep sending them. And when you're rocking and rolling,
Yeah.
listen, after the third shot with adrenaline,
Yeah.
you're like, ah!
I got
And you
it.
start doing them. But once the adrenaline goes down, that tequila creeps up on you, and that room started fucking spinning up a storm. Where'd he go to school, Bled? Northern Idaho.
Oh, I thought you already knew. And that drink's called a Prairie Fire.
Prairie fire. See? Something like
Oh,
that.
the drink is called.
Yeah, I thought it was a
look at
prairie
you.
dog. Now
You
what?
have such a good memory. I don't know how you do all
That
of
was
this.
the first guy I did that room with. I did that's amazing how comedy
You went
works.
to Washington State.
Told you, who the fuck you think you're dealing with? So it was right over the border there, because I saw him at the airport there one time. I did an open mic on Monday. I called John Fox. He said he had no cancellations. Then I got a call from him. He goes, the feature canceled. So I drove with a cat named Vince Valenzuela, who's he's in L.A. doing comedy now.
Nice.
Good kid. And we drove. And that's the first time I ever drank one of those prairie fucking farts. And they sent like 16 to you. And then if you break the record, you're like the best feature act. They keep requesting
keep
you.
bringing it.
But every time they bring you back, they would
gotta drink.
You got to drink 15 fucking tequilas.
Oh my God.
But one day on the way home, dog, I got a ticket doing like 92. Till this day, it
You
just
don't know what happened to
fucking
that.
peeled.
Well, some states don't send it. Like I got one in New Mexico, and they just don't send it to other states. Thank God.
Yeah, I've done that before, like toll roads and stuff, where I didn't pay or something. And
Well, that
back
they
in the
fuck
day.
you up in California.
Yeah,
I got
California,
it sent
yeah.
to me. It went from 5 to like 50. Really quick.
I got a $91 ticket on the Lord's Day the other day in front of the weed store because I pulled over. And the guy, as I was coming out, I go, it's the Lord's Day. I wasn't even angry.
Yeah.
I was having that type of day.
Yeah.
Like it was just fucking the disaster of a day. So I wasn't even angry. I go, it's the Lord's Day. You gave me a ticket. And the guy turns around and goes, Joey, I'm so sorry. I go, I ain't mad at you,
yeah.
bro.
What did he
got
give you a
my
ticket
car.
for?
Because there was a pole that said no parking
Oh,
beyond the
jeez.
pole, and I parked beyond the pole because the fucking douchebag behind me parked over.
Yeah.
He didn't give him a ticket. And I said, not for nothing, I ain't a Crime Stopper. You gotta give this fucking guy a ticket. So he gave the guy a fucking ticket. So we both got tickets. I was happy.
I'm not a
Fuck
crime
him for
stopper.
fucking. Yeah, I'm not
so
a Crime Stopper. This guy ain't parking right. That's why I'm fucked up.
It's the worst.
People are the worst here. I mean, you live down in Hollywood. That's like,
Yeah, I
you
have street
can't-
parking too. So like
Oh, no.
when people don't park perfectly like far enough back, and then it takes up 2 spots instead of one. It's my biggest pet peeve in
Oh,
the
and
whole
I
world.
put little notes on there. When you think I'm kidding you?
Then what do you say?
The next time I'll blow this fucking thing up.
No, you don't.
Yes,
You
I did.
should say that.
Yes, I fucking did.
People need to be
Yes,
told.
I fucking did. There was a truck in my neighborhood 3 weeks over the holiday. He thought it was fucking cute. Every time I went out at night, whatever I bought for dinner, like on the way back, from 7-Eleven. Like usually you stop, you get a water. I get like a V cigarette. I'll get like a Yoo-Hoo or something. I'll drink and throw the fucking cup in the back of his car. When he came back from where he came back, there was a ton of shit in his fucking car. And I left a note. The next time you leave your fucking car here, I will blow it up.
I will.
I tell everybody I'll blow it up, or I just put a scratch in the motherfucker, and that's the end of that fucking car.
Don't you feel like people just keep doing that stuff because no one's like confrontational anymore? Like no one ever says anything.
Well, nobody said. A couple weeks ago, there was 2 girls.
Yeah.
Okay, and I pulled up, and they saw my wife and the fucking baby, and they refused to I'm gonna park right here. I said, listen, I don't care if you park there, just move the car back. I finally had to fucking stick my head out and go, move it the fuck back. They thought they were being assholes for no reason. You've got a whole car length behind you. You know those people, it ends here. This is where the fucking garage ends.
Yeah.
Instead of parking here, these fucking measly cunts parked here.
Yeah.
So now, nobody can park there. I pulled in and go, move it the fuck back.
Yeah.
Move it the fuck back.
They think they're being smart.
And they were like, oh, what if we don't? How about I blast this? I take the baby out.
Yeah.
And I fucking crawl over you with this 4-wheel drive Subaru. Test me, motherfucker, today. Test me today. Go ahead. I dare you. Or do yourself a favor. I won't get out of this car. I'll drive this car, and I'll wait for you to get out of your car. And when you're at work on the train, I will flatten all 4 of your fucking tires. And let me tell you something. When you go to fucking work, and then you get on a train to come home, and at the end of the night, you find your 4 fucking tires, because there's no relief from that. You got to walk, get a cell phone, and call 911. A flat, you could fix. 4 motherfuckers, you ain't going to work mañana for being a cunt. And that's what I do to people. I fucking you think I'm fucking with you. I leave little notes. I'll take cat shit out of the fucking, the cat litter box, and I'll put it on the door handle.
Great.
You think I'm kidding you, dog? You get cat shit in your hand and open up your fucking car door. Listen, you'll have to drive with your hand out the fucking window. Do you understand me?
I love it.
I fucking torment.
But the reason that those girls do that is because nobody in the past has ever said anything. So until you say something, then all of a sudden they're going to be very aware next time.
When I was a kid, we lived on 3515 Gibbonhead Terrace, and we had our own driveway. But it didn't matter. In my stepdad's world, that parking spot in front of the house belonged to him. I can't tell you how many nights I got up and he'd be sitting by the window watching. And I go, what are you watching? He goes, I'm waiting for this guy to go in the house. I'm going to put fucking nails in his tires. You don't know how many times people came back and found all 4 tires flat. He would put the nails perfectly so when you drove, later on, you get a fucking flat. He did that to everybody until the word got out.
Yeah.
The word got out, nobody parked there. There could be fucking no parking spots in the neighborhood. Nobody would park there.
So funny.
He flattened everybody's fucking tires or he'd slash them. It was fucking tremendous. Don't park in front of fucking people's houses.
So funny.
If you take the train, park by the train, but you're such a cheap fuck. You want to save the 50 cents. I can't tolerate that. When I come to my house by the neighbor and I see a Mercedes, I scratch that motherfucker right off the bat. You want to be a fucking half a fucking yam? What the fuck
Don't park in my neighborhood.
What the fuck? If you have a Mercedes or a BMW, you better fucking have the quarter to park.
And they're probably also the ones who are pulling forward to make sure
nobody else parks.
Yeah, to protect their sweet
So
Mercedes.
I get my fucking jiu-jitsu bag and I get my key and I walk and you can hear the thing going.
Bro, I had my car keyed. I hate that.
Fuck that. You must have did something wrong.
What did you do?
I was parked in my spot. I don't know. Maybe I did something.
My friends used to live in this Hasidic neighborhood and down on La Brea on the Detroit Street, and there was the Hasidics they were the same way. Like if you said they would paint the curb red so that you couldn't park in front of their house just so that they could always and they were so mean to my friends that we, to get back at them, started throwing raging parties there on Friday nights because it's their observance and they can't call the cops. So we would literally just be banging on the floors nonstop. Just and they couldn't do nothing about it.
See?
That's how you got to get them. I mean, they're that was a tit for tat, but that was the good old days. People don't do that no more.
The worst is neighbors. When you have a loud neighbor.
Well, yeah. You got to be respectful of the people that you live next to. But if they're going to be disrespectful, there's only so much you can take before you have to be all right.
And I'm not into calling the cops.
No.
Oh, no.
I don't call police.
No.
I just fuck with you.
Yeah.
I just start fucking with you a little bit. That's it.
Gets to go, where did that, yeah.
I just start fucking with you a little bit. And little by little it wears and it wears and it wears and it wears until you just say, fuck it, I'm not going to make no more noise.
What should I do? I have a neighbor who sings sometimes, really loud. I think he's
Is it bothering you, though?
Actor. At like 8 a.m. on a Saturday, and I don't really want to hear show tunes.
Oh, he's a gay actor.
Yeah, I think I don't know if he's gay, but
hello.
yeah, like stuff like that. It's, and I don't want to knock on the wall. Like that seems like an old man thing to do, but
you can though. That's the first passive aggressive thing that you can do, but it's still kind of aggressive. Like
I hate passive aggressive stuff. Like I had a roommate who used to leave notes. Yeah, and like it used to, my blood would boil coming home. So I don't want to be passive aggressive about it. But
well, you just bang on the fucking wall, then you go, "Hey, shut up,
stop singing."
There was these motherfuckers that kept parking and doing that, like parking 4 feet away from the handicap spot to take 2 spots. And I left a note on their car. Next time, there won't be a next time. They never park there again.
See, that's like leaving a note in a way that's like the most surefire way of like making sure that people understand. Like the
surefire way is to
not
scratch
a passive
their
aggressive
car.
note.
They'll never they get it. You know what? I'll park the fucking train.
You know.
You're right. I should have. It's like Ronda Rousey. Like I told you, when she was waking up from that coma she went into,
right?
She wasn't thinking about getting hit. She was thinking about all the fuck ups. You think of all the fuck ups. That's what you think about. All the times you did slip. It's like when you go on stage for like a big show, and like, you know what? You got a new joke and you use the other ones, but the night before, and you get up there, and as you're bombing, by the 3rd minute, it's all coming to you. Why you're bombing. This is why you're bombing. You didn't go out Tuesday. You didn't sit down with Lee and write that fucking joke how you were supposed to. It's the same thing. As they fucking walk in the car with that big scratch or windshield blasted in or whatever, or catch it on their fingers, they go, you're right. I shouldn't park in front of people's fucking houses.
Do you ever like look and wait for them to come home so
That's
you can see what
favorite.
happens?
That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Yeah, that's the best part is seeing their reaction.
Do they ever look at you like, did you do it?
And they don't look at me. I'm sitting by the couch.
They're scared to look at him.
With the baby in my arms, just looking out the window, waiting like a savage. I won't see him no more. Like I'll see him park for 3 days in the back of their mind, I got this. That's when I nail him. Bah!
But what about those times, like I've parked before where like I'm only parking in the wrong way because the person behind me did, and then it just creates this like I get a note. Then I'm like, well, I parked right as close to that guy as I could, Like
I get paranoid about that. I'll be like, what if people think I'm a bad guy?
Yeah, what if people think I'm the bad one that started this trend on the street because that guy parked in the middle, so now I had to park further up, and then it just creates this chain.
I always try to park correctly. I always use blinkers.
Yeah,
I think blinkers are fucking rude. I always use blinkers.
Yeah.
There's little things I do when I drive that just...
Like those people that are like, you're parked at the red light and then it's about to go and then they turn their blinker on. It's like, no. You should tell everybody behind you that you had planned on turning left before we started this whole long line. Right? That's like the guy. That's the guy I hate.
Some people just suck, and I just try to do that when I drive.
Yeah.
Like when I park correctly. Sometimes if I go to like a meeting, I say, you know what, I got 10 minutes. Let me park a little farther. Just so I get some exercise and get some sun and clear my fucking head.
Because you're a considerate person, and I feel like that...
Not really, but that's the little things that bother me.
No, but just thinking about things... Like you go, I wouldn't want someone to do this to me.
Yeah,
so I'm not going to do it to them. So, but that's being considerate. Like
I pull up all the way to where I'm supposed to pull up.
Yeah.
I give people space. I just do things, and I don't even have a nice fucking car.
Yeah, you don't always follow all the laws, but you respect the rules.
Right, but respect the rules.
Yeah.
You ever hear about like how some people when they're doing job interviews will go and see how people treat waiters and waitresses to see if like there would be like they're a good person?
Oh, I like that.
I think that's a good thing too. To, like if you have like how someone drives or parks is like a really easy
big
way
indicator.
to tell if they're a douchebag.
Yeah,
What's
just like
things?
No consideration for anyone else on the road. The world, this is my world, and everybody else just lives in it.
I gotta talk to you about something before we even move any further. Because it's funny. No, it's not about you. It's just I want to get it from your perspective. I woke up the last 2 mornings to these little articles, and I didn't read them, but they're getting more and more about Amy Schumer. What's going on? I didn't read them about she's a joke thief.
She is.
I mean, they're fucking horrible.
I didn't read the articles.
Wendy Liebman hasn't shut the fuck up about it. I follow Wendy. And she hasn't shut the fuck about it to the point where I was going to say something like, Wendy, move on.
Yeah, move on.
Move the fuck on. I love you. You're a great comic.
Amy stole one of the ones from her?
But Amy, I I guess Tammy Pascatelli's in town, and Kathleen Madigan. I guess she went and stole old comics jokes, like. Oh. And now today they have video. Like somebody hit me up and said, "Did you see they found video of But I thought Chris Rock directed the special."
Yeah. Well, then they also said that about Patrice O'Neill, that she used one of Patrice O'Neill's jokes in the special too.
So what's going on, Lee? Did you read any of this?
I can read it right now.
Yeah, read this shit because I don't know. Listen, I've seen Amy once perform.
Right.
Since I've been here 20 years, I've seen her once at the Improv. I don't see her out. I don't know the story. I don't know who she is. I know that sometimes when people get popular, some people want to take jabs at people. But one jab is one thing, but when there's smoke, there's fire. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I also sometimes I worry that it's obviously if she's having to create this much material at once, she has people helping her write, and you don't know if those writers took it
too.
And not
that
just
sucks
her.
dick too. That sucks dick too.
What sucks dick? That she has people writing for her, or that the writers would
years
steal?
ago, I used to do this whole bit on coke, and one night I got off stage, and this comic came up to me and say, "Listen, I got a good joke for you. Say that you're the only person who got fat on coke, that somebody cut your coke with butter." And I started saying the joke. I thought, that's a great tag. Thank you. And this guy, this comic girl, is known as a writer, kind of, sort of. And I love her to death. I never really got mad at her for it, but 6 months later, I'm hearing from people that I stole this joke, that this guy's looking for me and shit.
What?
It was fucking tremendous. So I saw the guy one night at the Improv, and he tried to be tough with me, and I spit in his face, and they asked me to leave. It was tremendous. Then I had to shoot a movie, and he was there.
No.
Yes, I did. I had to shoot Nick Swanson's movie. And because this guy kept torturing me. Every time I'd see him out, he goes, "You stole my fucking joke. You stole my fucking joke." I go, "Dog, somebody gave me that joke. Fuck you." He just didn't like me.
Yeah.
And now he had a fucking reason. This guy was a lot older. He was one of those guys that was really popular, and they threw him out of the fucking store, so he got pissed off. Let's see the Kathleen Madigan one.
You want to see that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
This will be interesting.
I blame a lot of the...
Wow. I love Kathleen.
Me too. This is
So
why.
great.
economy falling apart on Oprah because she ordered American women to go out and buy things they could not afford. That's when I quit watching the show. The dichotomy in her shows was so ridiculous. On Tuesdays, she'd come out and go, "Ladies, it's all about Jimmy Choo shoes. You gotta have them. You need them. Your feet are gonna fall off. You're gonna have bunions the size of Montana if you don't get some Jimmy Choo shoes." Now, if you've never heard of them, they're about $500 or more a pair. Highly impractical. Then the following day, the entire show would be about credit card debt. And there's all these 40-somethings crying on the stage, and she's just berating them. "Ladies, how did it get this out of hand?" They're like, "You fucking told us." Why don't we rewind the tape, Chubby Chubstein? I believe it was you who brought Mr. Chew into the conversation. If I watch Oprah now, I only like to watch it when it's a hard, serious, depressing topic, because she has had so many giveaway shows in the past when it's a hard, serious, depressing topic. When they pan the audience, you can see the look of sheer disappointment on those women's faces. Oprah comes out, "Today's topic is abused women in India." Pan the crowd. "What the fuck? Where are my free hug boots, bitch? I stood outside for 5 hours. There's some 900-year-old lady from Wisconsin. "Does this mean we're not getting a free Pontiac?"
Pontiac. It's a great word.
I kind of went over the edge, too, with Oprah because of the magazine. Because she puts herself on the cover every single month. I'm like, could you be more narcissistic? How do you bring that up at the staff meeting without totally sounding like Hitler? Yeah, as far as the cover was going, the ideas that I keep coming up with, they are of me. Every single month we will have a photograph of me. Sometimes I will be holding a basket of puppies for no reason. Sometimes I will be painting a picture of me. I didn't think you could get more narcissistic than that. Oh, yes, you can. A few months ago, Oprah
So where's
had
the comparison
two pictures
video,
of herself
you
on the
fuck?
front.
What the fuck?
Because she
Listen,
Just watch it.
one of her
So she
fucking
had a
albums.
picture of her now, the super chubby Oprah.
I just
and
lived on
pay
it.
a
on the
man
road.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
when I was like her third album, the whole fucking road trip, I just listened to her. It
Yeah.
was fucking amazing to see a lot of people get hit in the head. and-
Amy, you look amazing.
Right.
What are you doing? Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig.
Yeah, right. Those take too much self-control. Last time I checked, I wasn't a robot. Boop, boop, boop. Nope.
How'd you do it?
With Slap Chef.
With Slap Chef.
With Slap Chef.
Slap Chef. What's that?
I don't know if that's the same one.
I don't know what this website is saying.
Oh, I see what they're doing.
What?
Okay, do this one. Wendy Liebman.
Kathleen managed to jump in.
Maybe I'm old fashioned, but I like it when the guy pays for sex. I mean that.
I am a good person, I swear to you. Like, I'm very old school. I think the guy should always pay on the first date for sex. And
Wow.
I don't know.
That's just one. I don't know. It's kind of hard. Like I've
Well, the other ones were comparisons. Like the one with Tammy Pascatelli, it's probably one for Trainwreck. Like whatever idea
Oh,
she
I see.
had, which
came from that joke. That's a whole slew of different writers, though. Like if it's a sketch show, that's different writers. You
Well,
know.
try it. Let's see what she's saying, Lee. Tammy Pascatelli. See, because it's Trainwreck and Tammy. So let's see what Tammy said.
This one made it into the freaking trailer for her movie Trainwreck.
There's so much going on right now. Like women right now, and I'll tell you the truth. As a woman, I will admit that women dress for other women, right? That's why men, if we love you, we dress you for other women too. That's why we dress you stupid. Because we want another woman to look at you and go, he's cute, but I can't fix all of this. What do you think invented the Hawaiian shirt, okay? And I know this from growing up with boys, that a lot of things, pretty much everything a man does is to see a woman naked. It's the truth, it really is, right? I mean, you know it, you wake up, that's why they have jobs, that's why they have homes, that's why they have cars, just to see a woman naked, and you don't have to go through all that. You really don't. All you need to do is put a scale in your living room. Because there's not a woman alive who weighs herself completely dressed. Right?
I don't see. Yeah, because I know the trailer. I saw the movie.
Girls, your mother and I are getting divorced. Monogamy isn't realistic.
Monogamy isn't realistic.
Again.
Monogamy isn't realistic.
I didn't understand that word at the time, but now I know exactly what he was talking about.
Saturday, I would love it if you were my date.
I can't do that because, like, you and I won't ever see each other again.
I wake up late every morning, manager's calling, I'm still yawning.
Good morning.
Oh, Amy. What happened? Did church let out early?
Ooh, I like Tom's sweater. Does he teach computer in a church basement?
And don't get all threatened just because you don't understand the concept of marriage. You dress him like that so nobody else wants to have sex with him? That's cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think, Lisa? You're a logical guy.
I don't think that
Well,
is.
that one, I think it's the same concept, but that wasn't. I don't think that. It wasn't the whole thing.
Well, that was definitely not like a. Yeah, like if I think Thievery, I think of like word for word bit that is like over a minute long. Just like a reference that's the same.
Like I've
It's
heard
not-
that. I've heard that before. Like,
Yeah, I've heard that 1,000 times. Like, you know, whenever I've never been like accused of a joke. Me and Christina Pajitsky used to talk about this all the time because I'm like, first of all, I've never stolen a joke either. But like people have said that, oh, my joke's similar to yours, and I'm like, it's just a reference that's similar. Like we both just say the word Skechers. Like you don't own all jokes that talk about Skechers, you know. But I do see people blatantly steal stuff, and then you just feel like so sorry for them because you're like, oh, that means you... Like, if somebody stole something from me, I could write another joke. And I'm confident in that. Even though, and no one's going to take anything when it's super precious to you and it's very specific to you and who you are. Like, who could steal anything that you do? You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like my jokes are so specific to me and my own circle. You'd be stealing my life, basically, if you were to steal any jokes. So, but if somebody steals something, you just go, oh, that sucks that you can't write a joke. Like, I can always write another joke. And it would suck, but I would feel more sorry for them than myself.
Well, I get mad when people... Listen, somebody steals your joke, you approach them like a man.
Yeah.
You can't be angry. You go, listen, one of the jokes we do is similar. You know, if you say, I saw you at the fucking OR watching me that night when I first did it or something, you know. I went to the fucking... whatever one night, and Bill Burr said, you know, he's talked about somebody, and he goes, this is where race is. Oh, Kanye West. And Bill Burr goes, you know, like what I was saying, where's the racism? That's why I never said that joke again.
Really?
Yeah. Bill Burr said it. I'm not going to win.
Yeah.
I'm not Bill Burr, number one. It wasn't working for me. I wasn't saying it as good as Bill Burr. Did Bill Burr steal the joke? Not in a million fucking years. Did I steal the joke from Bill Burr? Not in a million years. And guess what happened the next night? I saw somebody else early. I went to the store early. I was doing something, and somebody else used that reference. And now I never fucking did it again. Did he steal from Bill Burr? Fuck no.
No.
You follow me? It's just something now. I got to look at the joke that I'm doing and going, it's not working for me. It works 42% of the fucking time. It works 3.5 times out of 10. Fuck it. Move on. Write another goddamn joke. I'm not going to sit there and write a fucking whole thing about it. I'll go up to you and approach you like a man. If somebody calls you at home at midnight and go, hey, man, I'm at the Laugh Factory and somebody's doing your fucking bit, you know, 3 people fucking tell me, and then one of them goes up to him and goes, hey, that's Diaz's bit. Or you know, and again, I don't know. I came from a different cloth when it came to comedy.
Yeah.
It was weird that where I came from to get into comedy. So by the time I dove into comedy, I was like, I'm diving in like a human being. Like, I'm going to do this like everybody else. And I couldn't imagine taking somebody's joke or thought. Even as the criminal I was, I would take fucking lighters from 7-Eleven on Curson. You know, at 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
I used to run. Now they just put them back, and I'm thinking of going in there on the way home. I just hate that route. I'd rather hit Laurel Canyon and just get home than go the 101 route. But if I was still crazy, and they got the NFL lighters, which are my favorite.
Oh, those are good.
You know, the NFL lighters, they drove me crazy because I wanted every team. It's like when you were a kid.
Oh, you want the
It's
collection.
Like when you go to fucking Carvel, they give you the baseball team. But if you won 8 times, you got the Kansas City Royals. Now the helmet is good. But when you were a kid, who the fuck was the Kansas City Royals? You wanted the Reds or the Yankees or the Mets. They never gave you those. So the same thing happened with those lighters. When I first met my wife, I will have my wife call in here. And she'll say, Joey Diaz had an obsession with lighters. But she didn't get it. It just wasn't lighters. It was the NFL, the Bic lighters with the football team on it. So I started as a joke. I started taking 3 at a time, 4 at a time, 5 at a time. One day I just took a tray, and I went home, and I was so pissed because the tray had like 8 repeats. They only had 3 teams. They had like the Bengals, the fucking, the Dolphins, and something else. So I had this desk. Call my wife and ask her. I had a desk, a bureau underneath her shit with just the lighters, and I would count them at night when I was coked up. And I would look at it and say, I'm missing a lighter. I was pissed. Well, I took a Bengal one because there was 8 of them. What the fuck? You know, I would get so pissed.
Wow.
And I stopped shoplifting the lighters. But the point is, I was that much of a fucking thief. I would never even think about it. And now when I hear somebody and we're in the same ballpark, you know what? Just for the sake of argument, and I know this guy's temperament, I know he's going to fucking get defensive, and I'm going to have to smack him and do time. Forget it. I just go to Flappers or the Ha-Ha and start from scratch.
Yeah.
And start from scratch. I'll go out to fucking the Laugh Factory, Flappers, the Ha-Ha, any of those clubs, and start from scratch. That's all you could do.
No, that's all you can do. And I also think that, like, I mean, just thinking about those 2 jokes that we just saw, I mean, those are pretty common, like, theories that women talk about. It's not like, I just feel like there's always going to be crossover, and I don't, like, I know, I've met Amy a couple times, I've met all of those women a couple times, I probably know them all just as well as each other, so I feel unbiased in this situation, but, like, I just feel like Amy's cadence is like, I always think a man should pay for sex, like that kind of stuff. That's her, like I don't date Mexicans now. I prefer consensual, like that's her cadence. And that idea, I talk about how men should pay on the first date. Does that mean I can't talk about that because the setup is the same? Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the idea of men paying on the first date is an idea that 60% of the women in America could be talking about. Because it's the theory, the idea, it's like airplanes.
And you made a great point that people at home do not know.
Yeah.
And let's break it down for people at home, okay? Sarah's a great comic. She's coming up, whatever. Tomorrow, she's at the fucking store. And let's just say for the sake of argument, Opie's there. What's Opie? The guy from the real Opie, not fucking Opie Radio.
Ron Howard?
Ron Howard. Let's just say Ron Howard's in there. And Ron Howard's developing a TV show on NBC, and he loves Sarah. And he gives her 6 episodes the first season. The show's a winner. You know how it turns. And all of a sudden, your agency starts sending you out. Well, guess what? She's clean. She could do corporate. She could do 1,000 things. All of a sudden, Sarah's world blows up. If that show ain't taping, I don't see Sarah. I don't see Sarah. Well, guess what? And a lot of people at home don't know this. You get bored. You get bored with your material, and you can't write fast enough. Now, guess what? Sarah's agent calls her and says, Sarah, I got a theater for you. And now they're putting Sarah, and because they're greedy too. They're all greedy Jews.
They're all greedy.
So they will put Sarah in 4 fucking theaters a week. And guess what, guys? After 2 weeks, I don't care how good your jokes are, you're sick of them. You're sick of them. And you're throwing in little bits, and when your jokes are really good and you're throwing in little bits, you're like, fuck this. I'm not going to start from this shit. I'll just keep. And one day you just surrender. And I know guys that, listen, any other situation, I give up names. I give up names to criminals I grew up with, my own shit. But these are people that have their own personal business. I knew comedians who grew so fast that they had to hire tribes of comics.
Yeah.
Tribes of comics at home. For people who don't know this, I have to go to Lee and go, Lee, get Sarah, get Tony, get fucking one other guy, tell him 3,000 a fucking week, whatever. Let's go to, because I'm doing theaters and I'm selling out 10,000 seat arenas. I'm walking every week with $250,000. I'm paying these motherfuckers $20,000 to give me the shiniest. And these guys will start looking at me through their success. And all of a sudden, Sarah will go, you know what? That joke I was saying, right? I don't like it. And it'll work for Diaz. He's paying me. Diaz is paying me, taking me on the road. After the shows, we're fucking smoking dope and drinking and eating cheeseburgers and writing jokes. You have no idea, Lee. So guess what happened? Some fucking comic opened up for Sarah in Pittsburgh last year. Sarah did the joke for 5 days. Now Diaz is doing the joke. She doesn't know. She's doing her job as a comic.
Yeah.
She doesn't know my association with Sarah. So right away she'll post Joey Diaz stole a joke.
Yeah.
I don't have time to go back and reclaim that. The damage is already done by you accusing that person like that.
And that was my question. Have they contacted her? Because another story happened with Heather McDonald and Chelsea, and doing it publicly,
contacting the person before they say anything to the public.
Just to give them a chance to do the right thing, because it's like being charged with a crime or something. It's an intense thing, and I feel like if you don't at least give them a chance,
When did this go down
from
with
now
Heather?
on,
Just circumstantial evidence.
When did this go down with Heather? Yesterday?
The other day, yesterday.
Yesterday?
Wow. Well, I think Chelsea said something yesterday, and Heather maybe the day before.
Heather said that she was scared of Chelsea?
Yeah.
And then Chelsea said what? That she should be scared of her?
Yeah, that she should be, and then allegedly Heather sold information for her, to put her pictures in a magazine. So that's why she was
put Chelsea's pictures in the magazine?
No, to put Heather's pictures.
It's so weird. I don't know.
Man, this comedy game makes people act really weird.
Yeah. I don't.
This comedy game for fucking fame, people will act weird for a certain job
But then people also just get into their heads. They've created a story in their head that is so fabricated that now they start believing it, So I get a lot of times between female comics, I'll see like this rift, you know, and I feel like, and just male, anybody, you know, like, and it's like you've never actually talked about it, but now you both have created these scenarios in your head that you're both believing, and none of it is true. Like men will just work it out and punch each other, and women just like marinate and marinate and marinate until the story gets worse and worse and worse. You know what I mean? They just like never let it out.
Like Biggie and Tupac.
Yeah, it's just
Until
like just
somebody
see
got
each other.
shot.
Yeah, just see that. Like I think that like I mean, if I saw somebody else doing a joke that was similar to mine, and theirs was better, I'd be like, all right, I can write a better joke. I can do better. I don't need to do that joke. If mine is better, I might fight for it.
If somebody's a dear friend of mine,
Yeah.
or even a good friend of mine, sometimes I don't like a comedian, but I respect their work ethic. You have to get out of here at
No,
a certain time.
I'm okay.
And let's say I respect the fucking comic, but I don't like them personally. They don't like me, but they're like, fucking Joey's out there. He's out there. You know, every fucking night. I see him at midnight. I see him at 8 in the morning. You respect those people.
Yes.
And somebody was stealing that jokes. First of all, guys, I got to be honest with you. I don't even remember my fucking jokes.
Yeah.
Unless I've worked with you for a month or I've seen you and really enjoy you at the store, I don't fucking know your jokes, and you're always writing. So for me to raise my hand right away and go, that's Lee's joke, I don't know, and make it, you follow me?
Yeah.
But if I fucking love that person, I won't go up to that person. I will call that person that the joke. And if they say to me, is he there right now? Yeah. You want me to hold him here? You know, then whatever. You want me to say something? Don't say nothing, Joey. Please mind your business. No worries. You know, but if not, I don't even remember. And it's not that I'm a fan of comics, but you have so much material in your own fucking mind. You know, it's so sometimes I won't even point the finger. I'll go home and think about it for a few days, and then I'll wait. And then I'll hear it from somebody else. Hey, man, I saw this guy at the Laugh Factory. Bam! Now you know. Where there's smoke, there's fucking fire.
It's crazy that people do it, in Los Angeles, because all the comics are out. There's tons of comics. There's tons of people. I can see doing it on the road.
We have our own
They do it
police
everywhere.
force.
They do it everywhere. You know, and these guys are savages now. Like, who'd they take? What was the guy that stole the joke from a dead comic?
Oh, yeah, that
and was
kid.
doing them, and everybody went and got him at the fucking. They lynched
They
him.
brought him onto the
They
show and
lynched
then
him.
let him do his stand-up, and then they paid it was like a Mitch
Mulaney.
Mulaney's bit afterwards, which is word for word, and Mitch died, you know, like a year before the guy was doing the joke. So, like, it's crazy.
So
like,
what did they do to him?
They brought him on, like, a show like this and had him do his stand-up. Like, there's a big audience and stuff. So, he was just one of the other stand-ups. And then it becomes a talk show, and you sit down and talk to the comics hosting it. And then they started playing Mitch's joke. And then he, like, ran out of there, and he's never been seen again. Like, he didn't even answer the question. He just got up and left, and then, like, no one's seen him again.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's what should happen, too. Like, you shouldn't be doing so. Like, a classic. I mean, Mulaney was, like, really good.
I was, I started in Denver. And I knew those guys in Denver. And Denver, each market has reputations. The Denver comic has a reputation of being a great writer. They develop all those jokes for Roseanne. The word on the street when I started in Denver was that there were these fucking great writers in Denver. Matt Berry is here. We've spoken. You know who Matt Berry is? Matt Berry is like a big time writer, a real showrunner, and he has a partner from Denver. These guys were the writers. I remember seeing Matt Berry performing at Wits End when I was the fucking doorman. Wow. The doorman, and he would come in and he had a thing about scales that ever since he started doing coke, he's really good with metrics, and he would do a bit about that. There's a guy, Roger Rittenhouse, who's got a hook for an arm. Oh,
I thought you meant like a hook, like a bit.
No, he's got a hook for an arm. And he goes up on stage. What's happening?
Like Captain Hook?
Like a hook, and he'll go up on stage. My wrist was fucked up, so I went in. They gave me this. I had to bring the other one back. It's under repair, so just work with me. And he makes it click on stage. But fucking, he's a guy that would take your whole act and just make you a fucking star, like a Steve McGrew. Steve McGrew. Let's talk about Steve fucking McGrew.
Okay.
Steve McGrew is a comic from Houston, Texas. Do you know who Steve McGrew is? Steve McGrew is a comic from Houston, fucking Texas that missed that outlaw boat. Then he went to Denver. And in 1992, Steve McGrew was already touted as one of the best fucking comics in the country. He was living in Denver and L.A., the fucking Elvis hairdo, good-looking dude, just prolific writer. Like, if you work with Steve McGrew today and you do 5 shows, Steve McGrew will do 5 hours. Wow. And Steve McGrew is a caged animal. The shorter the time, Steve McGrew will fucking bury you. I had to follow Steve McGrew 2 nights in Denver, and both nights I was in the back praying. And they were the best sets I had because you had to follow that heat. Steve McGrew is one of the true fucking comedy writers in this country, like really fucking good. And he was in Denver, so he taught those guys. So those guys, Rick Kearns, Mikey Long, those guys started just writing for people. But I did comedy with those guys. So one day I'm at home and I'm watching one of the guys they're writing for that I know they're all writing for. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that this particular comic had hired this writing crew. This particular comic went from, clubs to arenas. And then continued to do arenas. And, when he has a jet, and when he leaves, one day I'm watching him because I'm a fan, and he fucking says one of those jokes from Mikey Long. I'm enraged. I go, Jesus Christ, is this guy a joke thief? But I didn't say nothing to nobody, and sure enough, a month later, I found out Mikey Long was writing for him. Mikey Long finally said, you might as well take my material because I ain't doing nothing with it. And sold him one of his best fucking jokes. So, you follow me, people? Sometimes you might go to a club and see a comic do a joke and then see a big-time comic do that same joke a year later. Maybe that comic just said, you know what, listen, I'm moving back to Michigan.
Yeah.
I don't need this no more.
I'd rather sell you this
I'm going to
joke
go back and
than
shovel snow.
Has, a really amazing comedian ever sold his act? Imagine if, Bill Cosby sold his act right now. Or anybody. It doesn't have to be. That was a stupid joke. But I
heard years ago Jerry Seinfeld bought some comics act that was really funny, like his whole joke book. Again, unless you take that act and personalize it to your own ability. I've always said Chris Rock, for example. Chris Rock, his best specials were where you'd see him prepare. It was beautiful.
So good.
Because he would start at the Improv, and he would walk into the Improv with Nick DiPaolo and Richard Jeni. And then from there, he'd shoot over to the Laugh Factory and do the same fucking material that on the drive over, Nick and Rich told him to try. At the time, Rich Jeni's another great writer, God bless his soul, and Nick DiPaolo's brilliant. And then after they do 2 shows there, they shoot to the Comedy Store, and then Louis C.K. would show up. This is 16 years ago, and I saw this go on for 6 weeks. I didn't know what it was. I didn't ask. I didn't talk to those guys. And then I saw the finished product, and it was one of Chris Rock's best fucking specials. And I heard that he would get an advance from HBO, chop it up, and tell these guys, go to work.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
So, you got Rich Jeni giving you 15, Nick giving you 15, Louis C.K. giving you 15. You had your 15.
Boom. Yeah.
What?
And what people don't realize is when you're writing a joke, because I'll write with friends, we'll sit down, and that banter and the questions that you ask each other about the material is what forms the material. Because jokes are usually opinions that that are answers to questions that you keep asking about a certain part of life, and I always when I'm writing a joke, I'll research both sides. If I have a bit about how I like for men to pay for dinner, and so I'll go and read articles and opinions from men and women about why they each think they should or shouldn't, and those questions that you ask yourself, that's how you form the joke. And when you're writing with a group of people, if I'm sitting there writing with someone, I'll ask you lots of questions until the joke just comes out of you, if that makes sense. So you have these writers and these people that work with you, but you're all creating the show together. You're not just right. It's not like one writer gets credit for one joke. You've all contributed to that. You've all punched it up. You've all made it better. It's like when I write for Jeff Ross on the roast, I might give him a joke, but he makes it amazing. I might write it down, but then we'll tag it or change it or move a couple words here and there. Everything is it's a beautiful instrument that you have to play. And just because someone can play an instrument doesn't mean they've built the instrument.
While we're on the subject, let's pretend I meet you at the fucking supermarket,
Okay.
right? And like for some reason, I'm talking about a situation in my youth. Not now. I'm talking about a situation when I'm 22 and I'm slinging dick and I'm out and I'm always on the prowl, you know. Let's say for some reason you let me know that you like doing drugs. I would buy the coke and the Quaaludes and the fucking weed, and then I'd pick you up and we'd go eat. Now, in that conversation, this is from a man's perspective. Like, I talk to Lee sometimes, and I see how Lee looks at me. And a lot of guys won't admit this. If in that conversation somewhere I suspect I'm not going to sleep with you, you better be buying dinner.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Fuck you. I
No.
ain't buying you dinner.
Yes, you are.
No, fuck. Not now I would, because I'm a gentleman now.
Yeah.
But
Oh, you
when
mean
I
you're
was-
talking about 22?
When I was
Oh,
22,
okay,
when I
okay.
was slinging dick, what,
Yeah.
Sarah?
Yeah.
And you started telling me about, oh, I'm tired. I got to get up at 6. You know, I have my car. What? Well, I hope you brought money for that shrimp cocktail and that fucking $8 martini, because Papa ain't paying for dick. I might go Dutchies on this. I might even
Yeah.
run out of here. No, you know, it's
That's true. Like back when I was younger, it didn't matter as much to me because I wasn't like looking for a soulmate. You know, you're just going to hang out. But like, you know, now I'm looking for my person. So they have to pay for dinner. My person has to pay for dinner. What?
I'm just laughing about the soulmate.
I hate you so much.
No,
you make
no.
me feel. Yes.
No.
It'll happen.
Oh no, it's definitely gonna happen. You have it all. You know, it's tough what you got to go through in today's. There's so many fucking lops that are men. There's so many fucking lops. Like if I was a woman, I'd have so many fucking requirements.
Yeah.
Like I'd be so fucking picky if I was a woman. I want short hair. He better dress right. He better have okay. I'm not stuck on the money thing. If I was a woman, I don't care if he lives at his mother's house, as long as he's got his shit together. Gives me a
just
stabbing.
have your shit
you
together.
know.
That is the hardest thing to find, though.
I didn't have my shit together at Lee's age. Lee has
No.
his shit together. Like Lee, that's why I said you and Lee make a good couple.
Ah.
Lee will teach you jiu-jitsu. You can do kettlebells together. You know what I'm saying? But
So the guy helping us, his father-in-law is 70 years old. He's been with his wife for 41 years. So like, we were alone today for a few minutes. So I asked him like, how does it work? And he just said like, just don't argue. He just said just say she's right sometimes. Like it's not worth the fight sometimes.
Yeah.
Then that's all he said. He's like, and he said like they're people too, so like you have to like be nice to them. And so it was just like there wasn't any like big thing that he said. So it was
Well,
just-
I think
it
that
was
men
nice
and
to see.
women just like need different things. Like women need to be held in touch. You know, we need you to remember our birthday and our anniversary and stuff like that. But like men need respect. Like that's how men feel love.
And they're here from the East Coast for like 6 months, and he said they go everywhere together.
Yeah.
Like they never go like they were apart for the day, but they never go anywhere that way.
I cannot fucking believe that came out of your fucking mouth.
What?
Not you. You're my brother, Sarah
Oh.
Tiana. I cannot believe that came
What?
out of your mouth. And there are women right now today that are cringing that you said that word. And in my life, first off,
What, respect?
yes, the first thing I got to tell you is the reason why you're back on the show, because I learned more about fatherhood from you than anything I've ever read or anything I've ever seen. I've seen different things, but you really opened my eyes up to be having a woman at the house and how to get a woman ready and the whole thing. And then talking to Ada. Ada came from a Cuban house, and what her dad did was fucking just crazy. But that could be me too. Like, you know, go by the school and go like this. And drive away, you know, that type, which is cute, but you don't need it. And I already see how Mercy is. Like when I go to school in the morning, my wife, boom, I walk her to school. I walk with my wife because there's a lot of people driving. It's by the train station. I don't want no problem. So when I'm walking, we get there, you know, we let her out. My wife gives me the lunch, and her and I walk to the refrigerator. This is the same routine. I put the lunch in, I turn around. I go, come on, we got to go next door. She fucking bops around. She looks at the tables. They're making crackers with cream cheese and pretzels. And I could see her already. And then we have to walk to another building. And then before I go in Spanish, I always tell her, where's my hug? And she always gives me pretty good hugs. But when it comes time to school in front of her friends, it's over. Like she just goes, boom, and lets her hands down. And like,
Really, already?
Oh,
She
yeah.
does
She
that?
pushes me
Oh,
away.
no.
And then she walks in 2 steps, and she walks back out hugs Terry's leg, pushes her away, and closes the fucking door behind her, and then goes in and hugs the teacher. So you'll see their personality. Like, it's over, Dad. It's over. Yeah, I know. You love me. Be careful. I know.
I love you.
I heard it 1,000 fucking times. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm with my friends. I don't want them to see it. You know, you see it. You see it.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I see it oh my God, am I going to go to hell for saying this? Oh my fucking God. Oh my God.
Really?
When I see a woman over 40 who's fucking single, I don't think she has respect for men.
Yeah.
As a woman, the first thing I want to teach Mercy, whether I live to tomorrow or fucking when she's 15 or 20, is that she lives in a world with men and she has to respect men. As long as she knows that going in, it makes her life a lot easier. This morning at 6 in the morning, I was drinking coffee with my wife. And she says, who's on the podcast? And I go, Sarah Tiana. And she goes, you really like her, don't you? And I go, yeah. I go, you know why? Because I want my daughter to grow up to be like her. She has a quality that I've seen Sarah in the circle with 5 guys, and she ain't fucking none of them. She's holding her own. None of those 5 guys are there to fuck Sarah. They respect her, and she's holding her own. Sometimes at the store, I just wave at you. I look at you, I'm ready to go up, and you're by the thing, and I watch you, and I'm watching why these guys are talking to you. Just to make sure I'm okay. I don't have to go over there and strangle a motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have to choke a motherfucker right there at the Comedy Store and fucking leave him in the parking lot. Sarah, go home. Just go home, do a spot next time. The store is closed. You know, because you have to look after those females at the store. Because there's crazy people talking to me. Those girls at the store, you got to watch them. I used to watch Beaumont Bacon. I used to watch Kim Tavares. There was another girl who used to come up there with her baby and leave the baby in the car and go on stage and shit. It was crazy. And you get to respect these women, man, because you know how hard it is. I see how hard it is. When they walk in, they're fucking prey, Jack. Everybody's trying to knock them off their game. And unless they have a certain walk, it's not going to work out for you. A certain way a woman comports herself, like walks. When you do comedy, guys have to really respect you. And that extends to the business world. But something happened in 1970 when Billie Jean worked that fucking Bobby thing and women all of a sudden became feminist. There's a word. Like, I heard, there was one of those stupid articles on Facebook last week that Tina Fey is hated now. She's a feminist because she talked about strippers. And I don't even know what a feminist is. I don't know nothing about this shit. But I know a woman in today's society, your job will be a lot easier if you respect a man. And every time I see a single woman, I see how she talks to men, how overly protective, how quick she is to snap at a guy. It's quick. They're trying to prove their point. I see it.
So you keep saying, like, respect. Like, what do you mean by respect a man?
By respecting a man, what I do is, I think for a man, you have to date somebody that you can respect. Like, I just want a man that I can, like, look up to and be proud of. So I think that is, like, a big part of it, where you're, like, constantly rewarding him or thanking him for, like, being a man and not punishing him for being a man. Also, I think with a man, like, you don't make fun of him in front of his friends or his family. Definitely not in front of his mother. Like, there's, like, certain things like that. Like, you're just considerate of his feelings before they get in, you know?
That'd be fucked up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like women do that, where they're, like, just like, I can do whatever I want, or, like, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just want somebody that I'm super proud of and that I brag about all the time. And I can make fun of him to his face, or when we're in a comfortable group where I know people respect him as well. But, like, I just think with your man, you just show him respect. You know, because, like, and I think my biggest problem is that, like, I'm the alpha at work, and I just want to be the beta when I go home. And but it's just difficult to find men that you can respect, that you can give that admiration to.
What do you think, Lisa?
Uh-oh.
I think that, I don't know.
I think as a man, you have to listen, when you're walking down the street, you're walking down the fucking street, and you see certain people, and you see a guy walking towards you, and he's got, like, fucking, he's jiggling with his pocket. I'm not saying that about color or race. He's got a hoodie on, whatever the fuck. You know, your things go up. When you meet a woman, the toughest thing for a man is to, what's the word, differentiate? Whether you're gonna, unless we're all adults here, whether you're gonna fuck this woman or not fuck this woman. This is how a man, this is the back of the wiring. This is the back of the fucking wiring, okay? When you meet a woman, I'm married, but I don't have that sense anymore. But when you're on the prowl as a man, even if you're not on the prowl, even when a woman's not on the prowl, when you meet a new man for the first time, or a man meets a woman for the first time, they have a decision right there.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they're going to go for it or not go for it. Maybe she's not your type. Maybe there's guys that will go for anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's guys that just, they make new flesh. If they talk to 10 women, they're going to sleep with 2 of them. It's just the law of the land. When you see a creepy guy, that guy gets pussy. And you sit there and go, how does he get pussy? Because he hits on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
He hits on 10
The
women.
odds are
the
in
odds
his
are in his favor. Guys like you and me, we have to, 60% we're in. Like, they have to show us a tit, then we go for it. Because we got no self-confidence. But there's guys that even like that fucking wire. I've gone on the road with comics, and I can't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've seen them bounce from one to another. No. And at the end, they take somebody home who looks like Herman Munster. But they took somebody to fuck home.
Mm-hmm.
I never know when it's happening. Girls would have to throw themselves. It never happened, so I have no idea.
Me neither. But when I was growing up, I grew up around so many women. My mom, and I would hear them chitter-chatter.
Mm-hmm.
I would hear them chitter-chatter. I didn't pay attention, but I did pay attention. And I learned, like they would always go to me, when you get fucking older, do this with a woman. When you get older, do this with a woman. Like they would coach me, don't fucking hit on everybody because you're not going to fuck everybody. And women don't like those type of guys. Like I remember those things, and I would look at them like, what are you talking about? Mm-hmm. My mom would tell me, make sure you eat pussy. And all the women would go, yeah, eat a woman's pussy. And I would sit there like, why are you telling me this in front of these people? I remember my mom walking into a room full of men in a numbers operation. Do you know what numbers and a sports gambling operation looks like?
The phones?
Yeah, there's only one woman in there, if you're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
10 out of 10 times they hire a guy to cook.
Mm-hmm.
That's how manly they don't want no mistakes. So in their minds, they don't want a woman around. If somebody comes in shooting, it's for a lot of other reasons.
They need to stay focused. Too.
My mom would walk in there, like they had a betting operation downstairs, but the numbers were upstairs. The bank is upstairs. It's a blackboard with 0 to 9, and then let's say somebody plays 0-19, you put it up there, and you put how much money, and once it gets to a certain level, you scratch it off. But my mom would walk in those rooms. I was a little kid, and I'd see how they'd respect her, and she would respect them, and my mom always had like a little gun in her purse. So these motherfuckers knew, and I was impressed. Like I'd see, as I got old, I'd see women come into my mom's bar that they got barracuda on. It was fucking hysterical. And even as a young guy, I didn't want to be that guy. Like, I knew. So when I meet a woman, when I was 22, I had 2 decisions to make. And that's every guy. And you can't fuck everybody. You can't fuck everybody. So I think having a woman as a friend is such a great ally. I've always had tons of women as friends because they're such great allies. They'll go into the murky waters for you. If you go to a woman that's a cool woman and go, listen, I haven't been laid in 9 months. What can you hook me up with? She'll go, let's go down to the bar. I'll get this party started for you. Let's do it.
Wingman.
Wingman. Sarah Tiana fucking call him over.
Oh,
what are you
sure.
going to do tonight? Suck his dick. He's a Raider fan.
No, I just start bragging about it.
That's
You
it.
introduce me, like, oh, hi, like, I'll start talking to the girl, and then I bring the guy over. And
that's what made my life easier as a comic, that, at least that aspect of it. I know guys that's what they do. They just try to bang other comics and shit.
I feel like for me, I have a lot of respect for men. And what I'm looking for is someone who I can respect, right? But when I say I can't find somebody like that, it is that generation of men who don't pay for dinner on the first date, who don't place a phone call, who only text you, who, like, I dated a guy for a little bit who would, like, put my jacket on, and it was, like, the nicest thing I thought had ever happened to me, help me down the stairs. I don't need help down the stairs, but the fact that you're considering me and making sure and looking out for me says volumes about how you'll look out for me in every single way. If you'll do it for this little tiny thing, just helping me down the stairs. And that's why it really bothers me when you're talking about feminism. Because,
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'm lost
really
too,
and
men are lost too, and that's the biggest problem is that women have gone so far, and they're like, "I'm independent." I'm like, "Bitch, you don't pay your own rent. You ain't independent." You know what I mean? Like, being independent means like I always tell a guy like, if I want to be paying for dinner, I would be eating it alone. That's why you're paying for it because I'm here. We're spending time together, and if you can't take care of this one little thing, then you can't take
Then
care
you
of
can't
nothing.
take care of
You can't take care of nothing. And if you, and like I showed up on time looking nice and I brought this here brain with me. So ante up, dealer. Like I don't think that there's any other thing that needs to be said. Like you respect me enough to buy me dinner. I respect you enough to treat you like a fucking man. And that's what I think at the core of everything. When you say, like, am I going to fuck her or not? At the core of a woman's brain, it's like, am I going to respect him or not? Am I going to care enough about him to let him fuck me whenever he wants?
Then I see the guys that are ultra nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've seen those guys. Like, I've worked in places with women, and a new girl comes, and then everybody's very nice. And I'm looking at these guys, and I'm going, I wonder how long this is going to last.
Mm-hmm.
Until they find out, until she drops the bomb that she's engaged. Then all this shit goes away. Then you see the other type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then the guy that does come around that woman, she really trusts. Because I know you're fucking engaged, and guess what? I'm married too. This is easy. We could be fucking friends. We could talk about anything now. But some people go, fuck her. She's engaged. What do I got to deal with that bitch for? I can't fuck her. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? It's really weird how we really think deep down inside, you know? People won't admit it.
No, I know. Fans on Twitter. If I post a picture of a guy, 0 likes on Instagram, you know, and it might not even be a guy I'm dating. It might just be me and a guy friend. Yeah, they're like, well, nobody wants to know that you have a fucking boyfriend, Sarah. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, I thought like the whole goal here was just to like, let's all just have a good time in life.
Lee's a gentleman. Lee's a
Yeah.
real gent. Lee really believes in the
just feel-
system. I love Lee to death. I break his balls.
Yeah.
Like last week, Lee's girlfriend got sick. He rubbed her toes. He went and
I
got
didn't
her.
rub her toes.
Don't fucking lie to me. I got the camera over there. He rubbed her toes. He fucking, took care of her and shit. And it just takes certain
takes a
type of
man to
guys.
treat a woman like a lady.
It takes certain type of guys, And I
Yeah.
break his balls, but the other side, I'm like, that could be my daughter.
Yeah.
And I like that Lee's doing that, even though I broke his balls about it.
Yeah,
And I
that's
like
what guys
that.
do.
I like that. I wouldn't want Lee to come to me and go, Doug, guess what? I'm fucking the neighbor, and I'm going to San Jose with you so I could eat that girl's ass. Would I like Lee? I'd still like him, but I wouldn't want him around me. Like I'm like, ugh. Those guys I never dug. I never dug guys that just always went for pussy around me. Like, Doug, you can't hit on the fucking bartender. We come here constantly. Stop.
Don't ruin it.
Stop. I would fucking drive me crazy when I was a kid.
And it might be double standard, but when you think about it, I really look down more on girls who cheat. Like when you think it's kind of worse. It seems like it's like kind of even grosser.
Because they have so many more options.
I don't know. They're supposed to be like when you look at a girl, they're so pretty. Like they're so pretty. Like, you don't think they can do something so mean.
Oh right, yeah.
Listen, the girl that comes to me and says to me, and I could say this into the mic, on the road you have fucking weird situations. I always tell a joke about El Paso's. That's true. That you could sleep with a girl on a Tuesday, and on Thursday she'd come back to the show and introduce you to the husband. It was fucking crazy, El Paso. There's nothing you could do about that. There's nothing you could do about that. It's the woman that you get involved with that you really, I don't know. For me, it's always been like, if you're cheating on your husband, what won't you fucking do?
Yeah.
For me, that's always like, yeah, I'll still be your friend or whatever. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, you know what? If you're cheating on your husband, what wouldn't you do? What would you do to me? You walk down the thing. Even with guys, I always thought that way. Like, if you're cheating on your wife, what would you do to me?
And when you say cheating, though, do you mean like consistently, like repetition? Or just one time?
Sarah, there's something I believe in. I believe in something that's since I was young. I believe that I could go to a bar one night, Sarah, and bump into somebody, and for some reason, it's just a slip in my mind and a slip in her mind. I'm not thinking about my daughter. I'm not thinking about Lee. I'm not thinking about anything. And you get away with it. You sleep with her one time and you get away with it. And then when you go back to where you live, she sends you a picture of pussy and you block her and you move on with your life. You made a mistake and you acknowledge it. That happens, guys. That happens.
Yeah. I think it's human.
That happens.
Uh-oh.
Okay, but me calling Sarah every day, Sarah comes to my house, plays with my daughter in front of my wife, I'm picking up Sarah, and that shit there, I don't get. No. I never got. This fucking idiot fucking the nanny.
Yeah.
These idiots fucking the nanny. This guy right now is shooting himself in the leg, the singer from Bush. She's pregnant already, and that fucking dummy got pregnant. What the fuck?
Yeah.
She's 46. You know, you're just starting your musical career already, but she's got tons of fucking loot. You know, when you write your own songs and sell them and publish them, there's so much fucking money there. But this guy was fucking a nanny right under her roof. What the fuck do you think a woman's gonna do? A scorned woman is fucking a nightmare. Is a nightmare.
You talk about putting nails in your tires
Oh
every
my
day.
God.
You ain't parking in this state anymore.
Dog, they put nails in your soul. Forget
Yeah.
your fucking car. And
Sorry.
what's it, black chick who lit the guy's car on fire in that movie with Whitney Houston? People were like, oh my God, it was great. No. It's the damage they do to your soul later on. Like right now, that guy's in hell. Not only did she leave him, she hooked up already, but now she's pregnant. They're probably going to get married. You know, and she's going to dump this Miranda dude in fucking 2 years. Miranda's husband.
Blake Shelton.
Yeah, he's a fucking mook. You can tell he's a fucking mook.
Well, I feel like when you're invested, like, mentally in someone else, like, that's not being a man. But I think that, like, when I always go back to, like, saying, like, I can't punish a man for being a man. Like, you're going to notice boobs. That's how you're wired. Like, you're going to notice asses and, like, you're going to want to do, like, dude things. Like, and you shouldn't punish me for being a woman. Like, I'm going to cry when I read an old note. Like, that shit's just going to happen. Like, we're different humans. So I just feel like somewhere along the way in the feminism world, what happened is men started getting really confused about what they were allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. And women started punishing men for being men, like opening the door, being taught, like, to be a gentleman. And, like, now men don't feel the need to, you know, excel anymore. Like, it was like if you wanted to get, like, a perfect wife, you had to be, like, the perfect job and, like, be able to fix something at home and build a wall at the Habitat for Humanity place, you know, like, stuff like that.
What's sexist mean? What does that mean? I don't know none of this shit because I don't pay attention to it because it's got nothing to do with me. I don't get this shit that we're going to invest this much time, but while we're talking about it, like, I watched a movie a couple of days ago, and he goes, move out of the way. It's a fact that men are way better cooks than women. That statement kind of bothered me. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that being sexist? And you know me, I don't give a fuck. I don't get upset about anything. But for a minute, I was like,
I think it would be sexist if they said only women can cook.
Okay.
That would be more sexist. Or, like,
I don't get that world. I don't get none of that fucking shit. I don't pay attention to it. I love the women I have in my life. You know, I do anything for them. You know, I have a daughter I don't have contact with. I have a sister in Cuba, so I've always had a side. And my mom and her girlfriends beat me. Like, when I was a kid, not beat me literally, but always when they had 3 cocktails in them, they go, psst, come here for a second. When you get older, women love when you do this shit. You know, and I would look at them like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm 6. What do I give a fuck about? I don't even like women. I like you because you bring me lollipops. That's it. I don't like no fucking broads. You know me. I like G.I. Joe.
Did either of you guys hear about the wasted dude's time hashtag on Twitter a couple weeks ago? Like, these girls were doing these, like, things like they would make guys take them out to dinner and buy them things and then tell them they don't want to date them. And it's like it was like
suckers are born every day.
Yeah.
There's guys that are dying. Listen, when you date, I dated a stripper for 4 years, and I got to tell you something. She told me things that blew me away.
Yeah.
Blew me away. And this was in 95, way before the internet stuff. I hear now, the other day, weren't you guys saying that some girl on Periscope was fucking, you tell people you're doing private dances and they put money like pay-per-view or whatever the fuck. Who was talking about it? I don't know.
There are 2 of them. One girl I saw was just like one of those cam girl, and she was saying if you want to do a private Periscope, which anyone can do, you had to send her an Amazon gift card to her email, which was crazy. And
they were probably rolling in.
Oh, I'm sure they were.
Yeah. That's insane.
Listen, they're suckers.
Yeah.
The guy I kidnapped Vella with, Stephen Tidwell, yesterday I was putting Mercy into the stroller, and I turned around, and I was waiting for my wife to come down the stairs, and every morning there's this fucking moron that walks a beautiful dog. This dog is one of those mastiffs. He's got to be a $120.
Yeah.
Just adorable. Now I know from experience with dogs that after you see a dog 6 or 7 times, guess what? Even if he wants to bite you, he wants to check you out. So I was by the gate. Mercy was 12 feet away, and Terry was coming down the stairs, and I see them over my shoulder. So when he gets over here, I look at the dog and I go, "Hey, baby, how you doing today?" And I figure the guy's going to give me a smile. No, he's a fucking Nazi.
Uh-oh.
This guy's living in one of those. He's probably in the mirror, flexing, like whatever. And then as they get back, the dog is looking at me like, "Hold on, Dad. Let me talk to this dude. Let me sniff him." He fucking hit him. He got to look straight. I'm standing, I'm like, "Oh, shit." Then my wife comes down. We start walking. And 20 feet later, my wife goes, "Did you see that? He just hit the dog again." You know, that was the dude that I kidnapped Bella. Like, that dude was one of those dudes. He had a pit bull.
You have to.
He had a car with tinted windows. He had, and this is 87. He already had the tattoo, the earring, the plug in his nose. This guy did everything in the world for attention. And he hung out at strip clubs. And the reason why he kidnapped Bella, his main reason, was because there was a girl he was in love with that was trying to get a divorce. It was a nude place, not a fucking panties on, nude, when you bring your own alcohol. And the girl was like an 8. She was no fucking bargain.
Yeah.
And she was Catholic. So she needed to move in with, so this idiot moved her into his bedroom. He lived on the couch, and she would lock the door at night, and she would go on dates. And she told him that when he gave her $10,000 for her divorce, that she would sleep with him, and they could be a couple.
Oh my God. And he did it.
He did.
Yeah, he did it.
He kidnapped. Yes. Everybody had a main thing here. You always have. I don't know what they say in the actors' world. What do they call it when you want to? What is the motive?
Your motivation.
Yeah. What is your motivation? His motivation was to give this girl $10,000 so he could move into his own bedroom, and they could be a couple. Because she was Catholic.
His own bedroom.
So she couldn't sleep with another guy until they broke the divorce because she was a Catholic girl. Meanwhile, she danced nude and gave lap dances and gave hand jobs back there for the small 20. You know, it was a fucking nightmare. Lee, you all right over there?
Small 20.
For the small 20. If you got 18, I'll still give you a hand job. You know what I'm saying? If it's a Tuesday, you got $18, fuck it, go.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely suckers born every day.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So when you say that, like, girls are doing that, it's awful, obviously, because what that does is it makes men, like, scared to ever buy us dinner in the first place because they're like, this bitch is probably just wasting my time. But, like if you're the one that's going to fall for that and keep buying girls stuff that are giving you nothing in return, then that means you have no respect for yourself, so I can't respect you.
I don't understand it. I've never understood that.
Have you guys heard about those cam sites?
No.
What?
Okay.
Oh, my God, Lee. How do you know about all this stuff?
Because this guy's fucking the king of swing.
No, because...
So what's cam sex?
Okay. So there's these sites where people go and, like, it was started out... Oh, wait. There it is. Just girls. And, like, they would, like, masturbate and stuff, and guys would tip them.
How?
Well, you would buy tokens, and then...
Oh.
And then and then the girls could turn the tokens into money.
Okay.
But now there's one... Bro, now there's one
He's
that
so
couples...
high, too. It's
I'm
so
very
funny.
high.
It's so funny to hear you discuss it when you can barely...
Now I found one called Chatterbait, where there's one where couples do it.
Okay, so like swingers?
No, not like swingers. Like, it'd be like a random person's, like, boyfriend and girlfriend are just fucking for money. And, like, people can request stuff.
Like, during the sex?
Yeah.
Oh,
and, like, people sell panties. It's really
right. Duncan said on his block there's a chick in wherever they live, El Segundo. What's that fucking crafty neighborhood down here?
Los Feliz.
Los Feliz. His neighbor would send people her socks and her underwear. Like if she ran in it was $35. If she just wore it when she slept in it was $25. She'd send you her socks for $7 a pair after she wore them and shit. Can you imagine that paying somebody to sniff their underwear? And don't get me wrong, I've gone to a woman's house hammered and sniffed her fucking underwear. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but you ain't ordered it in the mail, dude.
No, I ain't postage and handling and emailing the motherfucker, send me a pink pair.
Oh my God. Imagine how often she has to go to the post office.
Oh my God, that's so fucking crazy. All right, when I was dating Crazy Carol, one night her girlfriends with their boyfriends Like these 3 strippers came to the show, and 2 of them, the girls, had boyfriends. And we went to eat, and you know what? They were a little wacky, but they weren't bad, you know.
Okay.
And 2 of the girls were telling a story, and the boyfriends were right there, and they were talking about this guy who had flown to Vegas and paid them $10,000 apiece. Like they negotiated heavy. Didn't sleep with the guy. Like danced for the guy with their fucking little bikinis on. None of them took their tops off. The guy gave him $10,000 and an expensive watch each, like a $3,000 watch with diamonds or something. That shit has always fucking baffled me.
Yeah.
They were telling hours about guys who get paid and go right there. Like these girls worked in Seattle, in a town by Seattle, so they waited for the sailors to come back, and they'd come back with thousands of dollars and go in there. And these girls were telling stories how it's just craziness. And the only thing I could see is these guys want to be taken. Nobody could be that fucking stupid. Nobody.
Well, it's like, it must be just part of the fantasy. Like, they really are fantasizing that this woman would actually, like, this is what they can get. This is like, you know, it's like how I think how a woman, like, dreams that they can fix a guy. Like, yeah, that's ridiculous. Like, why would you ever really think that?
I went to a strip club for the first time after like 20 years, 3 weeks ago, on a Sunday night after Christmas. I said,
the
you know
Lord's
what?
Day.
Yeah, that's when you got to make it happen. I went to a strip club. The girl was beautiful. You know, it was bottomless and topless. I gave her like a yardstick. It was fucking tremendous. And like at the 4-minute mark, I don't care how Christian you are. You want to eat her ass. You follow me? You're sitting there going, get that thing up here. I'll fucking sniff it. I want to bite it. Whatever the fuck it is. You really do. You know, you do the same. If you went to a hot men's strip club and some guy had a fucking 10-inch dick, after about 4 inches, that thing swinging by your face, you got to grab that motherfucker and go, you know, at least let me sniff it. Something for my hand for later. Maybe. Something. Yeah, you all get crazy. But the effect wore off. And once it wore off, like I couldn't wait for her to fucking get off me. Like the last 3 minutes or 10 minutes was just a waste. Like I was like, why are we still doing this? This is just, you know, nothing's gonna happen. This is, you know, and she was very nice. If I go back there, I'm gonna have her. I'll go back on a Sunday night to watch her dance. She was great. She was fucking great. She smelled great. You know, she was beautiful. She was Russian. But it's not like I went back there the next day with fucking a bottle of scotch. Then the next day I went back there and followed her like that
With
dude
hopes.
Players Club. I went to see Players Club was on the other night on BET, Martin Luther King Day, and I watched it. And fucking one of the guys at the end, the guy is hiding in the bushes. And I paid you a lot of money. You might as well give me something. And she slammed the door on him and she pulled the gun or some shit. So those psychos exist. How you feeling, Lee? All right?
I'm doing
What are
good.
you going to eat when you get out of here? What are you fantasizing about?
I think I'm going to get some Mexican after I pack up the
Ooh,
office.
that sounds good.
All
Yeah.
right, let me give some shout-outs here. Yost Parrish, Big Mike, Sipping on Orcada, Clint Christensen, Sean Perte, Corey, I don't know, Brett Mallon, Rob Bradley, and Sam Coyler. It's Corey Perte and Sean Pence. I don't know. My fucking spelling when I smoke reefer, I was in a rush this morning, you know what I'm saying? But that's why I always watch you in a way, because once you told me that story about your dad and stuff, I've always tried to be, when I was first married, when I got married at 25 or 26, it was horrible. It was horrible. It was horrible on the fucking honeymoon, and it just didn't go away. And once the kid got there, it was even fucking worse. Like, I had a failed marriage, and as a Catholic, like, for me in my world, like, it felt terrible. Like, I don't know what I was more upset about, her or that I had gotten a
Guilt.
divorce.
Yeah.
Like, the divorce, and then bad credit came. Like, I was fucking mad. So when all this went on with Terry and the baby, like, when my wife first told me she was pregnant, I gotta be honest with you guys, I wasn't too fucking happy about it. Like, I didn't want to go through that shit again, you know? Like, it was hard. It's my number one enjoyment. It's what keeps me sane, you know? And it's the little things. Like, people get mad at me. Like, Joey, why don't you do this at 7 o'clock? Well, listen, man, I got this thing. Like, I'm going right from here to pick her up at school. And from the minute we pick her up, there's fucking drama in the car, you know? Go this way, biscottis, hot dogs. She already knows the routes. Then we get to the fucking house. But when I look at her and I talk to her, even before you came on the podcast, I go, what's the most important thing I could teach Mercy? If I die tomorrow, what's the most important thing? respect for men. And then that's the only way you get men to respect you.
Yeah.
And if you chop their shit off, like my mom, I saw her at the bar many a night stop guys in their tracks and say, hey, listen, look at me, listen. I respect you. You fucking respect me, or this is gonna get fucking ugly in this motherfucker. And I saw it, and I saw it calm down, guys. But if a woman doesn't stand her ground from day one, it's all over. And I seen it at the store. Oh my God, I seen women come and go at the fucking store.
Yeah.
You see it. You see it in the beginning. I look at them and go, this bitch ain't gonna last in here. Walking around with that low cut blouse, it ain't gonna work out for her. I don't care how many fucking boyfriends she's got. You can just tell because they walk on a tightrope too. They play a little bit of an ugly game too. So once you're playing a fucking game, but back to you and your dad. Now I got to go home and build shit. Now you made me feel bad.
No, you do
I'm gonna have to
know
go make a fucking cabinet and shit out of fucking bamboo papers. And
Well,
shit.
my mom and dad always, like, my dad just took care of everything on the outside of the house, and my mom took care of everything on the inside. That was always their agreement. So he would build stuff on the outside and bring it in. But
How were
she
the
should hang
holidays
her.
for you this year?
They were awesome. I got to be with my dad and my mom back in Georgia. It was awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
How was the weather?
It was hot, actually. It did not feel like Christmas. It was awful. But I got my dad a Falcons football signed by the whole team. He was pretty geeked out about it. It was pretty cool.
What'd you think of the national championship game that night?
Oh,
Because you were going to
man,
come
yeah, I was
on that
gonna come
night.
on.
And I said, fuck it. We'll enjoy the game. Because just by the tone of your voice, I could tell you were really going to fucking enjoy it. Not like other people.
I was like...
She bets a yardstick and shit. You know what I'm saying?
It was one of the best
I
games
got
ever.
hamburgers for the game.
Yeah.
Did you go back to Stoutburger, fucko?
No, not
How
yet.
good was Stoutburger?
Stoutburger's pretty good.
Oh, Stout's really good.
I didn't know. I had no idea. I love a good burger, but when it tastes like that, that makes me go crazy.
We got the one with pancetta on it last time. It was so good.
I think that's the one I got, yeah.
He got the Italian one. No, you got mozzarella and something else.
We got pancetta.
You got the Guido.
Pancetta.
Yeah.
I got the regular one. I can't do all
Yay.
that stuff. I like my burgers simple. Oh, my God. The onion rings and the fries with mozzarella, not bad, but that's what kills you. The cheeseburger don't kill you. It's the fries and the fucking the blue cheese.
The cheese.
I tell you what, even if you have a cocktail, that don't kill you. Not a cocktail, but a good stout, like a good beer with a hamburger. That's good for the muffler. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's good for the Stugats. You want that fucking Jewish stick to be hard, don't you?
Muffler. I'm going to use that word so much more often, and then everyone's going to say, you stole that from Uncle Joey.
Just say, no hands in the
No.
muffler. Don't be going back there, Lee, you little dirty Jew. That was pretty funny what Kathleen Madigan said about Oprah.
Yeah.
That she turns into a Nazi. Kathleen
I
Madigan.
have an idea.
Kathleen Madigan had an album. I don't know which one it was, guys. In 2000, I did a 12-week triple run. I had 3 CDs. That was one of the CDs, and I listened to it, and I studied it. She's great.
Oh,
man.
so
She's
brilliant.
fucking great. She's really great. You
So
know?
brilliant.
I'm happy that she blew up. I still remember summer of '98. You ready for this one? Mm-hmm. You know that she used to take Ron White as her feature act.
No. Hilarious.
When Ron White went missing, Ron White became a star in a weird way. There was a time when people loved the improvs loved Ron White because he drew, but they only gave him $2,000 a week. He would fucking pack him in because he was so funny. But Ron White one day hooked up with some rich white chick and moved to Mexico. So they would call every comic. You get a call once a year from the improv office. Hi, Sarah, hi, this is whatever from the improv. Do you happen to have his number and how we get it? Was fucking. There were 2 comics that the improvs were looking for. There was this kid out of Cleveland that the improvs used on the East Coast that was phenomenal, but they talked him into featuring. So he was in demand. They give him 2 weeks, like $650 to feature. And the kid featured himself to death. And nobody would headline him. The kid's finally like, listen, I'm fucking headline. Nah. But Ron White, one of the times before Ron White blew up, I still remember being at the Lap Stop in Houston, behind the whole lap stop on the side, and smoking dope with John Westling, like 6 of us outside. And Ron White was about to go up. The MC was on. Do you know what I'm saying? The MC, Ron White was the feature, and Kathleen Madigan was the fucking headline. And that's who, I guess she really liked him, and he liked her. So fucking amazing
Wow.
where this shit goes. And
Yeah. so many different turns.
Yeah, and you're young, and all this shit's happening for you. Where are you going next? What cities are you going to next?
Well, I'm going to San Francisco Sketch Fest tomorrow. Well, I have a show in Roanoke Park at Sally Tomatoes, and then I go to Minneapolis and Edmonton and Arlington, Virginia, Salt Lake City, and Richland, Washington, or something. Yeah, some other places.
Richland, Washington.
Yeah, there's some club up there. The Laugh Shop.
Richland, Washington always had a club. I once met a girl in Richland, Washington. You know, I love this, right?
I always love
a poem.
When I lived in Seattle, when you're a comic, you work Richland.
Mm-hmm.
It's the tri-states, the tri-cities. You work Richland, you work Portland, you work Idaho, you work Moscow, Idaho, you work the Boise, Funny Bone at that time. Boise had a cool fucking Funny Bone. The chick thought she was the next coming of comedy. She's sucking dick somewhere now. Fuck her. You know, oh yes, I know. Fuck you.
Sure.
There was just these cool clubs. There was a Mexican restaurant, Los Margaritas, in motherfucking Portland, like an hour, like 45 minutes out of Portland. Oh my God, Syatt. Los Margaritas, but Richland had this great, it was called the Volcano Room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they paid for your travel. It was no dough, but they gave you 20% off the whole weekend at the kitchen. And the kitchen was okay. And I did it. I used to love doing it because it was 3 days. It was a 4-hour drive from Seattle. And one of the last times I went there, I hooked up with this girl, real cute. And started moving, moved along, not too fast. We cuddled the first night. And then she left, and then I was living with Josh Wolf. It's 4th of July, 1996, and me, Josh,
in Seattle,
the 2 kids, and Malia, his wife at the time, were going to a 4th of July festival. And this girl called me out of the blue that morning, and she goes, "What are you gonna do? I have a few days off of work," and I'm like, "I don't give a fuck. Come on to Seattle." She showed up, real sweet girl.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked this Sarah. Like I was lonely. I'm like, this is gonna work out. I really like this girl, and I'm no fucking Jim Magoo. You know what I'm saying? I'm no handsome. I'm no fucking Jax from Sons of Anarchy. This chick was like a fucking 8. She was really cute. She had a good job. Everything was going great. We were swapping spit. Boom. Took her home. No sex. I respected her. I think we didn't have sex like a week later. But the point of the story is, she had 1,000 of those things on her back.
Little moles?
Those things that grow out of your skin. Is it a mole? They grow out of your skin.
Are they dark?
No. Yeah.
Hairs?
And no
Pimples?
hairs on them. No pimples. It's just
birthmark?
No, it's like a mole.
A freckle?
It's like a freckle that lives above the skin.
Yeah, those are moles.
It could be a wart, but not really.
Yeah.
And they grow, and she had them all over her back. This girl had a great body, but her back drove me crazy. It was like 1,000 little snakeheads were back there. You have no idea. Whenever we would had sex this way, I would go bling bling. Like it was just like I was rubbing. It was fucking hot, and she was such a sweet girl. I'm so embarrassed about this. But it wasn't pimples on the back. It was those moles. She had millions of them.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And she was a sweet girl, and she couldn't leave her family. It was just, I moved to L.A. She couldn't leave her Leah's going deep on a Wednesday. Out of respect for the last fucking Wednesday in this office, Lisa.
Like, you're really...
You were fucked up there. You went back to like a Led Zeppelin concert where they were giving out yarmulkes in the 70s. Look at you, Lee. I love it when he gets that fucking high. And then I moved to L.A. and we talked a couple times. But I couldn't get over the stuff.
Yeah, you can't get over it.
We traveled on the road with me. She went to a couple dates with me. When we did San Francisco, I auditioned for the contest. We did Santa Cruz. We drove back. We went to Ashland, Oregon. I mean, she was fun. But I think she wanted to get married and shit. Like, she was talking about marriage and kids. And I'm like, listen, I'm moving to L.A. No matter how you cut this, I'm moving to L.A. Like, fucking, so if you want to come, you could be my wife down there. But I'm not staying up here. And we talked a few times. It's amazing the people you meet on the road along the way, Lisa. Aren't you fucking happy we met? Give me the fucking sheet. Where you sitting there in Zombo land?
Yeah, Marty.
All right, let's start the year off with a fucking bang. You understand me? The Church of What's Happening Now is brought to you by NatureBox.com, dedicated to making smart, delicious, snacking easy. You deserve better than high fructose corn syrup and the red dye 578. Do I know what that is? No. Nature Box snacks taste delicious without any high fructose corn syrup, trans fat, MSG, artificial colors, sweeteners, flavors, none of that crap. Nature Box makes finding a range of options from healthy to indulgent. I don't even know what indulgent means. Easy. They combine unique flavors with ingredients you can pronounce to create great snacks you may or may not want to share. From the sriracha roasted cashews to the peanut butter nom-noms, Nature Box has over 100 seriously delicious options to choose from, and they're all delivered to your door, and that they do. We ate those coquitos that they had during the holidays. Remember, you came over, I had the sesame sticks, I tried to give them to you. They were
delicious. Yeah, they were delicious.
And you'll never get bored with Nature Box snacks, because every single month they release new snacks to choose from. Like my favorite are the lentil loops, the black and white lentil loops. Are delicious. Those are my all-time favorites. So listen, do me a favor. Say goodbye to weird mystery ingredients. Start snacking confidently with Nature Box. Let me tell you the best thing about Nature Box is that you don't have to eat the shit that's at the vending machine at your job or something. They all come with a seal. They're all air-packed. The snacks stay fresh. Listen, guys, if you're not going to naturebox.com, you just shoot yourself. It's that good. The sesame seed, the plantains. Listen, I tear up those black and salt and white, the black and salt lentil loops. Me and Mercy tear those fucking things up, and they're spicy as shit. But they, they remind me of Bugles, only fucking healthy.
Nice.
So do me a fucking favor, all right? Say goodbye to all the bullshit. Go to naturebox.com/Joey and get 50%. But 50% off your first order right now. Head to naturebox.com/Joey right now and get the right snacks for 2016. One time, that's naturebox.com/Joey for 50% off your first box of delicious, high-quality snacks sent directly to your doorstep, Lee. Who's better than you, cocksucker? Nobody. That's who. Listen, you want to start the year with a new resolution, all right? Right now, we're talking about love. Myself and Sarah, Tiana, and Lee, we're talking about couples and how people come to... You want to start fresh. What if Sarah, Tiana goes on a date and it gets to that point in the night and she's got those crinkled little fucking underwears. It looks like the fucking old man's goatee on the bottom. It's all crinkled and pissy. The guy ain't going to call her back. How am I going to want you around? So you want to start the year off. And the same thing for guys, right? You take a guy home, he's got those skid marks, and his underwear smell like pee, and you can see the circles and shit. That's why you never get cotton underwear. You always got to get dark shit, so shit slips out. Nobody knows nothing, not even the doctor. Anyway, you want the secret to the New Year's resolution? Make the first step real easy. Like the first thing you do every day, put on your underwear. This year, out with the old, in with the new. Go in your box, look at all those disgusting fucking yellow underwear, and get rid of them. It's 2016. Step into a fresh pair of MeUndies, the world's most comfortable underwear. I wore them to jiu-jitsu today. And it's the earliest resolution you'll make. Head to MeUndies.com. Choose from a variety of styles and limited edition patterns for both men and women, and they'll be delivered right to your door. MeUndies is the next level in underwear. Every pair is made with a signature Moldol fabric, proven to be twice as soft as cotton. I'm telling you, they're fucking tremendous. Plus, they don't let heat in there. Excuse me. So they keep everything fresh. I got to put talcum powder in the summer. Trust me. I told you when I had the surgery, I couldn't wash my little monkey for the whole fucking day. The next day I went in there and my nuts were fresh. I got to tell you honestly. And it's guaranteed to be the most comfortable underwear you ever worn. So do me a favor. Start your new year with new underwear. Forget about all that old stuff. Get their Spiritos, Malos. Get the Maluki out of your house. Make a change and head to MeUndies.com/Joey right now. I'm going to give you 20% off your first order. Plus, always free shipping to U.S. and Canada. So do me a favor. Right now, I'm going to give you 20% off of the world's most comfortable underwear. Head to MeUndies.com right now /Joey, and I'm going to hook you up, all right? And I'm like I said, 20% off and free shipping. How are you going to beat that? You want to start the new year off healthy? I had the flu for a couple days. It's fucking gone. I rolled today. I had 2 good fucking rolls. Why? Shroom Tech Sport, Shroom Tech Immune, and fucking...
Alpha Brain.
And Alpha Brain. Forget about Alpha Brain. Hemp Force protein. Like I said, a banana, 2 scoops, 32 grams of protein, a little Hershey. Bam! Some water, some ice cubes. Who's better than fucking you? But you don't want to hear from me, go to Onnit.com right now. That's what you got to do. Go to Onnit right now. Look at the great fucking selection of supplements they got, plus weights, plus kettlebells. I can't hook you up on that shit, but I'll get you 10% off all the supplements today. Boom. Go to Onnit.com right now and press in.
Church.
Boom. 10% off your first order delivered to your door. I want to thank Onnit. I want to thank MeUndies. And I want to thank Nature Box. I want to thank my girl, Tiana, for coming on. I miss you. It's good to be seeing you at the store and stuff. We're down there, when you go to the store, and I'm not saying this because I'm a jerk off. I'm telling you what people have been telling me, and somebody brought it to my attention. When I first got to the store, you heard about the Jim Carrey days and the Kennison, the Dice days, and they seemed like that would never happen again. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? Mm-hmm. It's happening again, all over again. And it's not the old people. It's this new crop of comics from Chris D'Elia to yourself to Tony Hinchcliffe to I like Adam Ray, Mike Costa. These guys, Theo Vaughn. Yeah. You go down there and you fucking get... I saw Steve Byrne destroying that motherfucker the other night. Meanwhile, last night, Chappelle's on in the fucking main room. Mm-hmm. Ari's having a show down there. It was just...
the other night, Arsenio brought up Norm Macdonald, and Norm Macdonald brought up Ron White. They all popped in. I mean, it was amazing.
It's amazing. It's just something, and we're being a part of it.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Now, kids will go up there going, fucking Sarah Tiana, I just heard that podcast with Joey. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Lee, what's up with you, baby? How's the new podcast going? I'm proud of you. You're putting shit together.
I really am having a good time with
Johnny Rock. That's a good combination.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. He's 28.
Johnny Rock. I'll tell you how deep I go back with Johnny Rock. He brought me up on our first CD together.
Yeah.
It's either you or the Priest. How fucking deep do I go back with Johnny Rock?
That's so crazy.
I told him, get in the car, go down there, do
Muffler
10 minutes
deep.
in front of me. What's that?
Muffler deep.
That's right.
And you know what he's doing today? He's driving all the way up to Rooster Teeth Feathers, and then he's going to come back tonight.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
He's got a lot of heart, my friend. That's what it's all about here. Listen.
So the podcast is called Life in Neutral.
Life in Neutral on iTunes, correct?
Yes, and Stitcher and everywhere.
The next time you see us, motherfuckers, there'll be brick behind us. We'll look even handsomer than what we are right now. And that's all I can tell you guys. Thank you very much for supporting the church. Thank you for supporting the Savage Dad Tour. Starts next Thursday in Charlotte. Proceeds the following week, February 4th, in St. Louis. Mo with Joey Filato be there. He's cooking chicken cutlets with fucking black beans and rice, North Bergen style. So fuck it, cocksuckers. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. Always remember, they could all suck your dick at the end of the day. You're going to put music on, Lee? You're going to sit there like a Mama Luca the Yay. You're slipping.
Oh, my God. He's so stoned.
Yes, he is. That's how we do it here on the church. We ain't got time for fiddle foul.
This show is brought to you by MeUndies. MeUndies is the world's most comfortable underwear. And when you go to MeUndies.com/Joey right now, you're going to get 20% off of your first order. And shipping is always free in the U.S. and Canada. The show is also brought to you by NatureBox.com. Go to naturebox.com/Joey to get 50% off of your first box right now. Go to naturebox.com/Joey to get 50% off of your first box right now. And go to Onnit.com and use code word church to get 10% off all the great optimization products.